Welcome to LeeWens.life.journey.
This is Lee,
This is when
and we're going to be talking about our K1 visa journey. It's a pretty long and extensive journey, but we're going to try to cover as much as we can. We're going to start off with what happened after we met.
our first met.
Yeah,
You know.
our first meeting. After I went back home to America, we decided that we want to pursue our relationship further because we had already been in a relationship, LDR, long distance relationship, for many months. So now we wanted to take it to the next level. So we researched on a K1 visa because we had no clue what it was.
We researched it.
We decided to research on how I can get when to America because we had no clue. So we did some research, and what were some of the visas that we found out?
We found out Q1 visa, the CR1 visa, which is the spousal visa, then the tourist visa. But the easiest way to process, but you need to spend more money also, is Q1 visa. So we agreed that we will just do the Q1 visa process because it will not take so long. So therefore, we asked.
I also found out that if you want a long distance relationship or you want to get serious with a Filipina or Filipino, depending on your preference, you definitely need to get a Cinemar. And she can tell you more about what a Cinemar really is.
Okay. Cinemar is a proof that someone is not yet married in the Philippines. It's Cinemar means certificate of no marriage, and it costs like 430 pesos. You can get that in Philippine Statistic Office. You can get it online or walk in, or you will do an appointment. It's very fast to get a Cinemar because there are a lot of PSA office in the Philippines. And there I get mine and show him because I want to prove that I'm single. And also I sent him my passport because I already have passport before, because I've already done getting it way back 2018, I guess.
Yeah, you definitely want to see a Cinemar. You can get it yourself and just pay. It's like $8 US, just like she said. And it just shows that she has not been married, like she said. Sometimes you can't trust a Cinemar. They can forge Cinemars, I'm assuming. It's just a piece of paper that says whether they're married or not. And once you have that, then it's easier to move forward. We found out, instead of doing a CR1, which was a marriage visa, the K1 visa, which you have to meet within 2 years. And if you meet within 2 years, you qualify for a K1 visa. If you go over that 2 years, you got to meet again. We did research, like we said, and there's a lot of things that you have to qualify for. After you meet, you need to have pictures. It would be great to have pictures of family. We never did do that, but it didn't really matter. But a lot of people say that you really need them. So pictures, pictures, pictures. Keep all your receipts. We didn't do that. I used a credit card most of the time, so I could go back and pull credit card transactions. If you had a hotel together,
The
flights, you don't necessarily have to have a flight with your spouse, or not a spouse, but girlfriend, fiance. You probably want to be fiance, not girlfriend, boyfriend. They want to at least know that you plan to get married. It has to be a genuine relationship because if it's not, you're probably going to get denied. And all the money that you spend you will not get back. When we did our visa, I pretty much processed all the paperwork myself. She did a lot of things in the Philippines, which helped me, because you're going to have all her information. You're going to have her birth certificate, mother, father's information, all that stuff. There's a lot of information that you're going to have to provide on the K1 visa form.
Yeah, then especially if in my case that I already have one child, you declare it to your petition, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because I never took the rest that I will bring my child here, because I never know
right.
my life here. I would love to bring here that like I have the assurance that it's fine here and we live happy, something like that.
Right. And I think the beginning cost of the I-129F is
$675.
Yeah. And right before we filed, they changed the price. It was like 500 and something, and it jumped all the way up 100 to 675, which that seemed to be our luck with everything we filed. They kept raising the prices right before we did it. And then once you do the I-129F and it's approved, they'll send you what, a NOAA 1?
Yeah. After they receive the papers or the documents, USCIS will send you the receipt number, which is the NOAA 1. Then they will process your papers. Then if you get approved, they will send you the NOAA 2. But make sure that you meet the requirements, necessary requirements, especially the poverty guidelines here, because they are very strict. USCIS will, what do you call that?
Deny you.
Yeah.
Or you'll have to have a co-sponsor, correct?
Yeah, co-sponsor. And USCIS will just making sure that the petitioner can provide you. Yeah, you can.
It's not a cheap process, so don't think it is. You better be prepared, because
Fiancé visa is more expensive than a spousal
than
visa.
A spousal visa. But you'll have to get married in the Philippines. And then
for the spousal, you need to marry in the Philippines. But if you will do the K1 visa, you need to get married within 90 days upon the arrival here in America. Then
but if you get a spousal visa in the Philippines, you don't have to worry about the green card issues here. Your spouse will already have a green card once they come to America, which is good. But then the spousal visa takes time, a lot longer,
like 2 years, because I've met someone during my medical. They said that their process took 2 years before they get approved with NVC, because after USCIS sent you the NOAA 2, they will forward your case to NVC, because NVC will secure you your case number. Like mine, it starts with MNL because it's Manila, it's in the Philippines. So they send the petitioner the Q1FTP, which means that we can secure interview schedule. But I didn't mean that you can go there and schedule your interview, because there are also cases that they already received the Q1FTP and they schedule their interview and they come over during their schedule with the U.S. Embassy, but U.S. Embassy found out that their papers is not yet there, so you will start again, schedule the interview. So it would be better if you will wait the welcome letter. But in my case, I already arrived here in America before my welcome letter arrived in our hometown. So
And now you got to do biometrics first, right?
Yeah.
Before you can even do the interview.
Yeah, because before in my case, I just did my biometrics during my interview, but now they already separate the biometrics with the interview. I don't know why, but before that, you need to have your medical first so that you will not get
You will not get a what?
you will not get 221G. 221G is if you have a lack of requirements and the US Embassy wants you to provide. That's why they will send you a 221G. They will approve your interview, but you don't have nothing to worry about that, because if you will just send him the proof, they will approve you right away. But you know, it would be better if you will prepare all the necessary documents that you need, because it takes time if you will get 221G, and it's more stressful because you need to send the papers, track the papers or the documents. If it's already arrived in the US Embassy, it would be best if you're you are prepared for the interview, right?
Right. And if you want to make sure everything's right, I mean, some of the things that you got to get is your tax returns for 3 years, your pay stubs, W-2s, employment verification. I mean, the stuff that they need is mind blowing. Um, can anybody do it? Probably. I mean, we did it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, is it stressful? Extremely. Is
Yeah.
it costly? For sure.
Then you will overthink. I mean, it's exciting, but in my case, I always overthink, because I didn't overthink about a relationship. I mean the process, because there are also cases that they will deny something like that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you get denied right off the bat, because once you send all your proof in and your paperwork, your K1 visa, if they deny you, it's nearly impossible to do it again. I've heard that you may want to go to the CR1 visa route because they have to have proof, 100% proof to deny
Yeah.
you. With the K1 visa, I mean, I guess they could deny you if they just don't like the way you look. I don't know.
And in our case, we just tried to do the Q1 visa, even if we don't have a lot of proofs
Mm-hmm.
of our relationship, because we didn't know that we need to take a lot of pictures, we need to keep the receipts.
Right.
We only submit what we had, but guys, we're so lucky because our process just took 2 months. When I get my approval notice from the National Visa Center, which is NVC,
Mm-hmm.
and then there you go.
I think from the time I actually sent it
Yeah,
in
it's just
to
two
the
months.
time you showed up in America was
I
how long?
5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's possible. We did it without, lack of certain information, but I would say, I mean, there's stacks of paper that I had to send. It
Mm-hmm.
was a stack. And then, you know, we had to, once you get here, once your spouse gets here, future spouse, you have 90 days to get married. And then in that 90 days, after that 90 days, then you file for what, adjustment of
Adjusting
status and
green card,
and a
and if
green
you
card.
want to work, you need to file also the employment authorization. Then if you want to travel, you need also to process the I-131,
Mm-hmm.
the travel parole, I guess.
Right.
We
But if
did.
you're not going to travel, I
Yeah,
wouldn't worry about it.
that's why I didn't file that.
Yeah, we didn't file one because there ain't no sense in it. If you're going to travel, then if there's an emergency, then just file one for an emergency. That's the way I see it, instead of paying. Now, if you're going to get married and you're going to travel to other places, then yeah, it may be worth it. But to us, it wasn't going to be worth it.
Yeah,
Um,
but if you you have no green card yet, but you want to travel inside the United States, yeah, you can travel, but outside United States, you need to have a travel parole or the green card.
Right.
You're not allowed to travel with your work authorization card or your employment authorization.
Right.
You will not allow that.
And once you file all the paperwork here, check that it's 100% correct, because mistakes can be made, and it could be a costly mistake, but for the most part, maybe you won't make a mistake and have any issues.
Yeah, you should review your papers
Mm-hmm.
one by one if it's necessary, because USCIS is very strict and inconsiderate when it comes to misspelled word. They will not send you RFE,
What's an RFE?
request for
Evidence. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
additional evidence.
Yeah. And they may send you that on the K1 visa if there's something that they need further.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if they do, it's no big deal. Just send them the required information, and it's probably going to slow things down a little bit, but it isn't too bad. It's very stressful. The whole thing is stressful. The money issue is stressful. Just everything about it is stressful.
Yeah, but in our case, we're not that stressed because
Yeah.
our process is very smooth, very, very smooth, all
Yeah,
right?
it was smooth.
I
No
just overthink
RFEs.
my medical
Yeah.
because the medical is 2 days and it's very expensive.
Yeah, the medical's what?
It-
How much is a medical?
500 to 600 US dollar,
Yeah.
and in peso it's 28,000 plus,
And it's a 2-day process.
because they raised the medical
Yeah, right before
fee
we did
because
that.
because of the EGRA test for
Yeah.
tuberculosis.
Yeah, tuberculosis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And every Filipina or Filipino is so concerned about TB. I don't know why, but they are. And they all talk about the sputum test. And
You know what? I've seen during my medical that the very expensive medical is United States.
Yeah, it's the most. They
Yeah.
want the most money for whatever reason. I think it's because of all the requirements. They got to get shots, they got to get exams, they got to get blood work. There's just a ton of stuff that they have to do. Like I said, it's a 2-day process. And when we did it, she went like on was it a Monday or Tuesday?
Forget, maybe Monday. No, Tuesday.
Like a Tuesday, Wednesday, and then what, the Friday you did your interview or something. It was like right after that you did the interview.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, you can do it that way. So, but if there was some reason she had to do the sputum TB test, it wouldn't have happened. She couldn't have done it. She couldn't have done the interview. So you're kind of rolling the dice, but you would just reschedule your interview with the embassy.
I guess they will be the one to schedule your interview. I don't know, because I've met someone there, like she got sputum, then after 3 months she got her interview and she passed. I mean, they will not deny you if you had if you can provide the papers that you need, you can answer them directly. I mean, they're just like having a chit chat with you. They're not very strict.
She was so worried before the U.S. Embassy interview, but it was just like, how long did it really take once you sat down and talked to him?
It's just like 5 minutes, I guess. It will not take you so long, but others may take so long because maybe they can't answer direct to the point. But
yeah, if they think that it's not a genuine relationship, and they probably already kind of have an idea by all your paperwork that you submitted. If they think that it's not, you're probably going to have a hard time, or your spouse, when they go into the interview.
Fiancé.
I mean, you can't go with her or him, but if they believe that there's an issue, they're probably going to question them pretty in depth.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you should not overthink for the interview. You need to worry your medical, because if you failed your medical or you will get sputum, it will take time. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah, because
should be healthy.
yeah, you may
You
have
need
to
to
take
prepare
shots, right?
yourselves. Yeah.
I mean, you may have to take shots that take several months.
Hmm.
So all those things can slow you down, but ours went very, very smooth,
Hmm.
and it's a good thing.
We didn't receive RFE with the paperwork that we submit.
Right.
Everything is fine. I mean, the only stressful we have is when we book the interview at the US Embassy, because everything is very stressful,
Yeah.
and it's hard for us to get some slot because it's always fully booked, and that's the
Oh,
reason
yeah.
why
Very hard.
it's an additional cost to us, because we let someone find us a slot, because I can't do it by
Yeah.
myself.
And then when you try here to do a slot, it blocks you. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's like very impossible to get a
Mm-hmm.
slot. If you try too many times in a day, they'll block you. I mean, it's just, if you understand anything about the US government, you'll understand why.
Maybe if I got my interview slot as early as August, maybe we just did it like 2 months
Right.
plus.
Yeah. And what do you do once they approve you at the US Embassy? They send you a letter,
Yeah,
or they take your
they,
passport, right?
they take my passport and they will send it back to you with a yellow packet wherein your all the papers or the documents are there, because you need to bring that when you travel going to United States. And
Mm-hmm.
before that, you need to attend the CFO wherever you want. It's in Baguio, it's in Manila,
Mm-hmm.
Cebu, Davao, and I did mine in Cebu. And it's very stressful also, because they will, I mean, I can understand why they did that, because they just want us to be safety,
Right.
because
It's kind of what, like a
usually,
counseling thing. They
yeah,
tell you your rights
yeah,
and
because usually if you file the Q1 visa, you just met like one or once or twice.
mm-hmm.
They just want to have an assurance that if you will come here, you will be safety, you will be financially supported with your petitioner, and that's it.
Right.
But they will not deny you, or they will not refuse you of coming here. They will just give you some piece of advice.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I'm not worried it either, because I'm not worried if he will treat me bad, because in my mind he's working in a government, so it's not a big of a deal with
mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah, and I would, when you do all this stuff, don't, I mean, if you go over there and visit your future wife, husband, whatever it may be, don't worry too much about, oh, I haven't known him long enough, or I haven't this and that. Because if you can prove that it's genuine, then that's all that matters. We know people that went over there and visited, and they only knew each other like 2 months
Yeah,
and got approved. So there's no time limit. It's just more, you got to prove that it's genuine.
that's it.
That's about it. I hope you enjoyed our video.
If
Like, share,
you,
comment. If you have any
if you,
questions,
yeah, you can leave a comment. Maybe we can help.
yeah, sure.
Uh, that's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.